Hello and welcome to episode 15 of Talk of the Crown. I hope you've all had an amazing, voluptuous week. I know I have. I know the royals have. It's been a very, very busy royal week. Now, welcome to the chat. If you've not been here before, if you've not been live with me before, I am here every Saturday at 10 o'clock GMT. That is British time, and it's quite easy to work out where that is for you. Just type in British time into Google and it will tell you how many hours in front or behind it is for you, so that if you want to be live, you can always see me live. If not and you can't make it, don't worry, this video goes live on, well, not live actually, it's recorded live, but it gets uploaded as if it was live onto my main channel immediately after this chat has finished, so you can always watch on catch up. So I always talk to you guys. Now I'm going to use my mobile phone because it's easier to talk to you guys. So first of all, I need to find the live chat and I need to find everyone talking, which I have straight away. Now I want to see everybody's comments. So I'm going to put live chat. I know some of you have been here already. So hello to Sue Miller and Diamond Danae, who both say congratulations on 57,000 subscribers. Thank you. I think I have just about hit 57,000 subscribers. Deborah Snyder's wishing me congratulations too. And Shining Star. Ilma Bar is from Canada. Hello to you. Hello to Mrs. VSNC09 from Carolina. Anne Soliada 222. James Med 4. Beth Black. Pam Farrell. Judy. Olivia Hewley. David Penner. Stacey Lamb. Janice Hunter. Sweet Serenity. Hello to you all. And Melody. And Kathy. And Joanne. And Gerald. And Dee Dee. And Sarah. And of course, Vinnie Blair. Wow. Now, this is, I suppose, not a Canada Day special, but I do know that it is Canada Day tomorrow. So I wanted to wish you all a very happy Canada Day. And if you've not noticed, I am wearing the replica Canadian maple leaf brooch that the Queen owns. So this is my replica, and I'm not sure if you can see, but there's a closer look. And it is pretty much an exact replica. And I had it in my diary for weeks to wear it for tonight. Hello to Lady Buckingham. Happy Canada Day to you too. And hello to Rhonda and Siam Moon. Wow. So the format, like every week, is the same. You can say whatever you want live in chat, and I will do my best to answer all of your questions. Of course, it's directed by yourselves, so you can say whatever you like. Thank you, Pam, who says the brooch looks great. And Janice too. And yes, Deborah, it is wonderful to be here live. Now, I have my list, as always, so I can refer to. But I never really need to. You guys normally just remind me of everything anyway. I suppose the big story this week was Prince William's very historic visit to the Middle East, I suppose, Israel, Palestine, Jordan, and what a success it was. I think it's gone down. I think we can quite correctly say it's gone down as being a huge success, and perhaps, you know, it's the beginning of some bridges being made. Let me know your thoughts and comments on the visit. Did you think it went well? Let me know. Andy Mora says, what will happen when Charles becomes king? Will Canada stay in the Commonwealth? Yes. Nothing will change unless Canada wants it to. Of course, there would have to be a constitution change and probably some kind of referendum if Canadians wanted a change. But let me know, if you are a Canadian, would you want there to be a change when Charles ascends to the throne? Or would you like to remain part of the Commonwealth and retain the monarchy? Let me know your thoughts on that. It'll be very interesting to see what you say. Hello to Marilyn, who has joined us. Pam and Sweet Serenity say Prince William did a really good job. Alex says, hey Elliot, I'm wondering if you have any opinions about the articles berating the Duchess of Sussex for the royal faux pas. Well, yes, about the way she sits and touching Harry. I did read them. To be perfectly honest, I haven't had time to do much on them. It's been a very busy week with my day job, and then it's been so busy with Prince William and what he's doing, and lots of other royal news that's going on, that I literally haven't had time to do all of these faux pas stories. But basically, there kind of is no protocol for whether you should touch or whether you should sit a certain way. Sometimes things are just done, and they're kind of, I suppose, unspoken rules, I'm going to say loosely, because they aren't really rules because nothing's written down. But, you know, with regards to how Meghan sits, lots of people saying that she should have used the Duchess slant. I mean, the Queen doesn't always do the Duchess slant. Camilla certainly hasn't. Princess Diana didn't. There's photographs of Diana sitting cross-legged the same way that Meghan did. So there is no actual protocol. It's just people thinking that she should act in a certain way, and she hasn't. So they're using that as an opportunity to berate her and pick on her and pull her up on something that's actually a non-existent rule. Technically, she can sit how she wants. In terms of, you know, going to grab Harry, touch Harry, again, there's no written rule that says that you can't touch. It's just something that typically isn't done. I mean, usually royals don't do the whole touching thing, but that's not to say that it can't be done. And if Meghan wants to be very tactile, let's not forget, you know, Diana on certain engagements was quite tactile with the people that she met. So why can't Meghan take it a little bit further and be quite tactile with Harry? I think a lot of people would like to see a little bit more of the royals being tactile towards each other, a little bit more PDA. Let me know, do you want more PDA, public displays of affection, or less? Would you like to see Meghan, I suppose, I mean, again, I'll loosely say rewrite the royal rule book. There is no rule book. They just kind of are allowed to get on and do the engagements how they want. But would you like to see Meghan popularise, I should say, more touching, more public displays of affection? Let me know. It would be very interesting again to see. Sheila Bloom is very hot in Alexandria. Well, it's very hot here in the UK too, so I can concur. In fact, actually, although I'm dressed like this up top, I'm actually in my shorts below, and I very, very rarely get my legs out. It is actually very hot. Lady Buckingham, Dawn, says she was very nervous about Prince William going on his foreign trip, and you're glad he's back. Vinny Blair says, I think we will stay in the Commonwealth. And of course, that's referring to Canada. Sarah says, do you see the royal family all the time? Personally, as in person, meeting them? No. But of course, you know, I follow them daily. Of course I do. I have to follow them daily to bring the news to you. But as in person, no. David Penner says, hi, Marilyn. I was in Houston. Andy Morris says, will Canada accept Camilla as Queen Consort? They don't have much choice. She will be Queen Consort. Deborah says, how am I coping with the heat wave in the UK? Well, I think I just kind of answered that. I'm in shorts. I've been trying to keep cool. And of course, I have my fan, which I have not just been using for fake news this week. I have actually been using it to cool myself down because it's been so hot. And of course, working in the heat when we're not used to it is also quite hard. So I've been struggling, but I've got through. And I've had my little parasol as well to keep my face out of the sun. I don't want any wrinkles. Rhonda thinks William did an amazing job. Hello to Jojo. Dawn wants no change for Canada. Beth Black says, thank you for posting the Young Leaders Award. I enjoyed seeing that. Yes, Harry, Meghan and the Queen were presenting, well, the Queen was presenting the Young Leaders Award. Prince Harry made a speech. I made both videos on that, so you can go and check it out. And I think I included the entire of Prince Harry's speech too, which was really lovely to see and to hear him speak. And it was really nice to see Meghan out again with the Queen and, of course, learning from the best. Let me know your thoughts on that. 54 Tangerine says, have I visited Canada? No, but it is one of those places I would love to visit. My granddad sort of sailed there in the war. He was on the Arctic, on the Russian convoys, but he did also sail to Canada. I'm not sure which part, but he said it was really lovely to see from the ship, and when he visited as well, it was really lovely to see. So I would like to actually do a Canadian cruise and see lots of different ports and places that you can see on a Canadian cruise. It's something that I would, one of those places that I would really love to visit. Vinny Blair says, yes, Canada is a very forgiving nation. Camilla will get the respect of Queen Consort, even if we don't like her. That's true. Even if you don't like her, she has to be Queen Consort for the monarchy to kind of carry on, I suppose, in the way that it has been with its current traditions. They would have to literally change the rules. The government would have to change the law to make the wife of a king not automatically Queen Consort. And that is most certainly not in the pipeline. Olivia, bravo to William and Harry, both amazing. David says, how is the Queen Elizabeth's health after bowing out? Yes, she did cancel an engagement, which was the service of St. Michael, which the Duke of Kent attended in her place. And she pulled out rather sensibly, I think, because, and this was the official kind of statement, she was suffering from a summer cold. And she thought it was sensible so that she didn't have to cancel any of the engagements next week to have a rest, which I think was very pragmatic and sensible of the Queen to do. Why make yourself ill, especially when she's had such a busy time at Royal Ascot? She's been really busy the last couple of weeks. And, you know, maybe being out and about amongst all those people, she caught a summer cold. It's understandable. And, you know, she needed some rest. She was seen in a car, you know, leaving, and she seemed okay. She was sat up, you know, you could see her sat up perfectly well, and she looked okay. No doctor was required, so the palace says, and I think we should believe them on that. It's just a summer cold, nothing much to worry about. And there have been no plans to change any of the engagements for next week. So I suppose good news is no news, just a summer cold. There you go. Sheila Bloom says, I'm sick of Meghan being called Meghan Markle. She's being picked apart. Well, in my last video where she was at the polo, I did make a point of actually the Daily Mail, who normally calls Catherine Kate Middleton still, called Meghan the Duchess of Sussex. Can I get a woo? Yes, they actually managed it. In fact, I'm gonna fan my fan, because wow, I mean, they actually got it right. They referred to her as Meghan Markle once when they were referring to her before she married, which, okay, fair enough, fine, I'll give them that. That's okay, I can accept that. But then afterwards, they referred to her either as Meghan or the Duchess of Sussex. Yay! Maybe someone's listening. But they need to start doing that with Catherine too. And whether they'll keep it up with Meghan, I don't know. But I was quite happy that they got it right. Yay. Andy Mora says, I'm an American. I'm proud. Finally, we have our American Duchess in the royal family, and the Queen giving her into the royal life and royal protocol. Yes, I mean, she certainly opened a new door for people, especially in America, to feel like they have a stake in the British royal monarchy, and that's really, really good. And I welcome all these new people and all the interest that she's generating in the royal family, because it's really nice to know that, you know, that our royal family is appealing all over the world, and that other people can find some kind of a stake in the monarchy. I think it's really good, and really good times to be a part of it. Deborah Fraser says, the Duchess thus far has not broken any protocol. She's been excellent thus far. I agree, because anything that people are saying she's broken isn't actually protocol in the first place. It's just things that are typically done, but there are no rules. So no, she hasn't really broken any protocol, which if I do eventually get around to making those videos, I will of course say. Christine says, will the Queen be going to Balmoral soon? Yes, she typically spends a week or two on the Balmoral estate, but not in the castle. She goes to a little kind of like a cottage, although it's bigger than what you think. It's, you know, more of a farmhouse mansion size cottage, and she stays there on the estate until the estate is ready. Then about 2 weeks later, she has an official moving in ceremony where you see a little parade outside the gates and music and bagpipes, which I will bring you as soon as that happens. And then she's officially installed in Balmoral for the summer break. And that's it. And I will, of course, bring you all of that as and when it happens. But she will be going soon. Dawn says, Charles kissed Camilla in public. People need to let them be human. I agree completely. Rhonda Blair says, I think people are too critical and judgmental of Meghan. I wonder, those who are judging, could they survive living in a fishbowl in their everyday lives? There are people that are going to be haters and they are going to hate. Haters going to hate, as they say, as the phrase goes. That's just what's going to happen. And, you know, unfortunately, people are going to have their opinion. We have a freedom of speech. People are entitled to their opinion. You know, all we can do is to kind of correct them. If you see a comment in the comment section and you think it's wrong, tell them it's wrong, you know, and say why you think it's wrong. You know, having these opinions out there is an opportunity to put misinformation right. So use it as that kind of an excuse. Olivia Hewley thinks people just made stuff up about Meghan haters. Vinny Blair says, I refuse to watch or read that garbage about Harry pulling away from Meghan. Like I say, if I get a chance to do a video on it, I will. Marilyn Blythe says, I want the royals the royals unveiling placards the way Prince Edward did, such flair. Yes, I made a video of it. Prince Edward was extremely animated. I think it went something like 1, 2, 3, ta-da! And then he whipped away the little thing that was that was in front of the plaque, and there it was, and everyone cheered, and he certainly showed a unique flair for plaque unveiling. I mean, you thought you'd seen it all. No, Prince Edward raised the bar, and I hope we see more plaque unveiling of that nature. Can you imagine the Queen doing that? Oh my goodness. Oh. Malcolm Carson says, did Prince William get back from the Middle East to play polo today with Prince Harry? Your comments on Prince William visiting Princess Alice's gravesite. Yes, he did. And Princess Alice of Battenberg. And that was, of course, the Duke of Edinburgh's mother and William's great-grandmother. And I think Charles visited the gravesite last year or the year before. I can't quite remember, but he has visited in the last couple of years, and William visited. And it was a very touching visit. He placed some flowers on the tomb or grave, whichever you want to call it. And, it must have been, I suppose, quite a surreal experience to know that one of your, kind of close relatives in terms of going back in history was actually, laying right before you. It must have been quite an experience. I think he placed a candle as well, or something like that. So it must have been quite moving part of that visit. Likewise, another sort of touching moment was when he visited the same set of rocks that Catherine had visited when she was 5 years old with her family, when her family were based there because of their work as airline flight attendants. So, wow, what an experience he had. Quite, touching times and touching moments. Candice says, thank you for recognising Canada Day. As a Canadian, you're very proud of the monarchy. I absolutely want my country to remain part of the Commonwealth always. And I think that's probably a feeling that most people would echo. Let me know. First Mrs. R says, I don't know if I'd say popularised, but I certainly would like to see her behave in a way that is natural for her and Harry, of course. I think being natural, I would agree, is very important. Ken says, shorts, tisk tisk. It's hot, and I'm not showing you my legs anyway, so it doesn't matter. Gerald says, I'm tired of people bashing Meghan and saying she married Harry for his money. She has her own money. She did. And in fact, I would, questionably, arguably say that she is, in terms of recent times, she's probably the wealthiest royal bride to enter the family. I can't think of anybody that would have had more independent money than what she has brought to the table. So actually, you know, Harry married well. He did. He married very well. James Med4 says, lack of PDA lets the press have less to make up stories about. True. I would agree that it does. But it still doesn't mean that they shouldn't. Sweet Trinity says, thank you for your continued news. You are very welcome. Stephen says, hello. Hello to you, Stephen. Olivia Hewley says, yes, please use it. Nora Cherry says, hello, happy Canada Day. What is the condition of the Queen? Well, I think I've just said no news is good news. It was just a summer cold, no need for the doctor, and all engagements are going ahead as planned for next week. So I believe. Shining Star thinks William did a great job. I would agree there. A very tricky job to get right. And in fact, I will sort of bring this up now. I think it's a good place to mention it. In fact, I've only just literally about half an hour ago before I came on chat, noticed a whole load of comments in the comments section of the video I made about when Prince William saw Netta, and he also met President Mahmoud Abbas, President Abbas, and I referred to, in a certain section of it, that he entered occupied Palestinian territories. And I read all the comments saying, you know, there was a huge controversy, people saying that it was wrong to call it that and blah, blah, blah. And I just wanted to say why I called it that, because there is a very good reason why I called it that. And that is that, in fact, I posted a link in the comment section of that video replying to some people. So you're more than welcome to go on and check the link as well. So the reason why I called it that in the video is because that is what Kensington Palace officially, in the document they sent out before the visit, in the press release, that is what they referred to it as. So me being me and me being all, you know, liking things to be factual, referred to it as such, because that is the fact that was put out by Kensington Palace in their official press release. That is how they referred to the visit. So that is why I referred to it as such. Nothing more, nothing less. To be perfectly honest, I don't know too much about the whole situation in Palestine. I am just literally going by what was officially put out there. And, you know, me being me and kind of trusting in the palace, thought that if they're using that language, then that must be diplomatically correct to use it, because, you know, why would they make this historic visit only to offend people? You know, that doesn't make any sense. Why would they use terminology that would offend people if it hadn't already been through diplomacy checks, shall we say? So if, in case anybody was wondering why I referred to it as that, the simple answer is because that's how Kensington Palace referred to it themselves. There's nothing more, nothing less. That's it. I put the link that you can go and check. And if you scroll down to the bit in the video where I say that, and if you compare it to what it says in the description, it all matches up. That is the language, that is the terminology that they used. So that is what I used. Nothing more, nothing less. And that's it. And in fact, if people don't agree with that, then actually what you should do is don't take it out with me, take it out with Kensington Palace, maybe tweet them or write them a letter or something. But basically, I just wanted to say what happened. I'm all about the facts. There you go. Pam Farrell thinks I'm a trooper. Thank you. I do try and troop. Rhonda Blair says, I enjoyed watching the Duke and Duchess of Sussex being true to who they are. They are in love, and as Americans, we tend to show affection, and being touchy-feely is sometimes a part of that. Again, it's that blend of cultures, and, you know, Britain is going to have to get used to a little bit of America coming in, because, you know, it happened at the wedding. We saw it all at the wedding, this blending of two cultures, and that is what is going to happen with future engagements. And, you know, maybe we might grow to love it. I'm certainly okay with it. I don't see a problem. And I think the rest of the people will too. Give it time. Sue Miller says, when I say hot, what temperature in centigrades am I talking about? It's been about 30 30 degrees C. There you go. And yes, they have announced a date for Prince Louis's christening, and my diary is in the other room, and I can't remember it straight off the bat. But I'm sure some of you can Google it and let me know. It's in my diary. I think it's something like July the 9th or 10th, something like that. Someone Google it for me. Let me know. Sweet Serenity says, dinner party, must bid adieu. Stay cool, sweet soul. See you soon. Enjoy your dinner party. What are you having for dinner? Let me know. Rhonda says, when did Prince William return from his trip to the Middle East? I do believe he went on Tuesday and it was 5 days. So I do believe he returned on Saturday with all the time difference and stuff. Hello to Diamond Danae. David Penn says, am I watching the World Cup and when does England play? I think our next match is Tuesday. I am not a big football follower, as you can probably imagine. But, of course, I support the national game and the national team. So, although I may not watch all the matches, of course, I'm interested in whether they're winning or not. And we're actually doing remarkably well compared to previous years. And I think we have a real chance of doing quite well this time. So, go England. There you go. I wish them the best of luck for Tuesday. Don't ask me who they're playing. I really don't know. I really have no idea. But good luck for Tuesday anyway. Rodney says, hello, and everyone. Hope everyone is blessed. I think we all are. Vinny Blair says, Harry can get very hot and angry about Meghan. I think the press and the haters are going to drive the royal couple away with their treatment of Meghan. And also, there's more royal stories this week about rumours about Meghan not having anything more to do with her father. I've not had a chance to do videos on those. Again, I don't know how they know that. I mean, I had a quick skim of the article. They've got no sources to say, unless, of course, he's been talking to TMZ again. Who knows? I think, who would have thought that, I mean, actually, the problems aren't with Meghan on that side. They're actually with her family. Meghan's actually been very demure with, not giving anything out. It's her family. And I think, the palace needs to do something. I said it last week and the week before. They really do need to pull their finger out and just take him under their wing and just sort it all out, because this situation of talking to the press is not going to go away. And now there are rumours. In fact, I'm going to call it rumours, but okay, half a rumour, okay, half a fan flap, because it could be true. Who knows? Apparently, the sister is going to go on UK Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother this year, which is after the main one, probably towards the end of August, September time. Really? It could be true. She could be. I don't know if it's true, but it could be. Unless they do something, it is not going to go away. Andy Morris says, I can't wait until The Crown on Netflix starts season 3, starting in the era of the 1970s. It would be really good to see the cast. I need my drink in a minute. It is really good to see the cast change. Some people were very worried about the cast change. I'm actually really looking forward to it, because you can't have the same actors playing, them all the way through their lives. I think it makes much more sense to use different actors to play them in different stages of their lives. And I think the actors they've chosen are going to be really, really good. It's still very hot. From what I've seen, I think they're going to be very good. I think the casting has been quite good. I'm looking forward to it, and I will. And I don't like to binge watch. I like to watch them in little bits so it can prolong the season. So I will be watching, and I will let you know what I think when I'm watching it. Marilyn says summer colds are the worst. Good on Her Majesty for taking a rest. A very, very sensible move, I do believe. Lenora Coulter says, how are you? As for me, I'm well. I'm fine. And I'm glad to know that you're well too. Hello to Jane Doe in Alabama. Candice says, I become extremely worried whenever the Queen is sick. Colds can go very bad very quickly when one is elderly. As far as I'm aware, she's fine. No doctor, no hospital, no cancellations. So as of yet, we're fine. Hello to SMB 2012. Glad you made it. Vinny Blair says, it will be interesting to watch which friends of Meghan will drop or keep from now on. Serena skipped her press conference to watch the polo. I think Serena Williams is one of those friends that gets it. She knows not to talk, not to blab. And I think she'll continue to be a very good friend of Meghan. Shining Star says, what are my thoughts on the constant comments on the Daily Mail re Meghan? And why do you think there is a hate directed at her? I think in part I've already answered that in the early part of the chat. I think it's because she's just an easy target. People want her to fail. Certain people want her to fail, and they will pick on anything. But of course, she isn't going to fail. She's got the whole palace behind her. She's got Harry, the Queen's behind her. The Queen's got the girls back. She's not going to go wrong, and the haters are going to hate. Let them hate. Everyone else knows the truth, and I think there are far more supporters than haters. It's just the haters shout the loudest. Hello to Eduarda. Eduarda, is that from the Azores? I wish I was in the Azores. It sounds lovely. Sounds like paradise. James Med4 says, I'm loving the title of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. It has such a great ring to it. I think we will see one or both of the Sussexes at Wimbledon, since Serena Williams was at the polo. Yes, I think we definitely will. And I think the Duchess of Cambridge also usually likes to go to the tennis too. So we may see them all go. It may be a very big royal triad outing. Not triad, a royal square. It's a square now, isn't it? It's the royal square. Marjor423 says, thumbs up first before I said hi. Yes, if you're watching, 145 of you, please give me a big old thumbs up. It really does help. Go on, I'm waiting. Hit it. Hit the thumbs up. Okay, I'll carry on. Clay Edwards says, what do you think of the slimming down of the royal family? I know here in the US, Princess Beatrice and Eugenie don't have a great reputation. Not sure how it is in the UK. In terms of reputation, they haven't really been allowed to do much. However, with regards to the slim down monarchy, and I've said it ever since I've been doing these live chats, that their time will come, that even though it may be the intention to slim down the monarchy, and of course we have the core members, that when the elderly members or the Queen's cousins step back, when they start reducing the workload, or they retire altogether, or they die, let's face it, they could die. There are lots of elderly members of the royal family that still help do engagements. Once they aren't doing those engagements, there will be a void. That void needs to be filled. Meghan is going to take up some of the slack now that she's a royal. Harry and William and Catherine are classed as full-time working royals at the moment. Well, Catherine is kind of full-time, but not. She still does lots of childcare herself. But certainly we have lots more full-time members of the team taking up the slack. Some of the duties are being dispersed between the Queen's children, but eventually there will be a void. And Beatrice and Eugenie are the natural people to take on those engagements and those roles and those patronages. It will come their way, I'm convinced, because otherwise charities, organisations will lose out. There will be less royal work done. There will be less good work done by the royal family. And I think that is more problematic than paying for a couple of extra members to do the work in the first place. The royal family needs to be seen to be working and doing lots of work. And I believe that Charles will see that when the time comes. And in fact, we can see that kind of now, because Beatrice and Eugenie have, I think, been doing a lot more work on behalf of the Queen. They've been appearing a lot more, and long may it continue. I think their time will definitely come, mark my words. Rochelle says, some people make such a big deal about the Duchess of Sussex holding her husband's hand in public. What's wrong with holding one's partner's hand, whatever your social status? So I think I addressed that earlier, so I'm not going to carry on with that one. But personally, I think it's fine. Ellen has been reading negative comments about Meghan and Catherine. And yes, they are both lovely women. And I don't know why people are being negative towards Catherine either. What specifically have they been saying? Vinnie Blair says Piers Morgan turned against her for dropping him. Claims Harry made her not invite him to the wedding. No shame in discussing this on his show. He has said those things, but he's also said that he liked her when he had the chat with her in the pub. Apparently, he met her in a pub. I think it was on the same day or the day before that she met Harry. And he said she was charming, she was lovely, engaging, all the rest of it. And he has actually sung her praises. But maybe he was a little bit annoyed that he didn't get an invite to the wedding. Who wouldn't be? But, you know, Meghan and Harry wanted the wedding their own way. They wanted their own guest list. You know, Piers Morgan is going to have to just deal with it. Jeff Gosney says somebody wrote that the palace gave Meghan £1 million to buy a new wardrobe. My goodness. Catherine spends 136,000. I say fake news. Yes, I'm going to call that fake news too. My goodness, £1 million. Imagine the stuff you get at Primark for that. No, okay. She will have a clothing allowance, and of course that is paid by Prince Charles, the Prince of Wales, through the Duchy of Cornwall, because he funds his line of the family's engagements and public funds and private funds. So there will be you know, a budget for clothing. And of course, you know, she may get things sent to her from designers, which she may send back, you know, wear once. There's lots of things that go on behind the scenes that could, you know, make it appear like she has a far more expensive wardrobe than she actually does have. But it most certainly, up till this point, will not have cost £1 million. Most certainly not. Vinnie Blair says, all of this comparison and bad-mouthing may just drive Catherine and Meghan closer. I think they're already very close. I think Catherine has been helping Meghan a lot by giving her lots of tips and advice. Oh dear says, Canada Day weekend. I am down on the harbour waiting for my halbert to be filleted. A nice £15 one. Having £15? My goodness. I can just hear my cats scattering around on the stones outside. Something's happening. Feline related. Vinnie Blair says, I think Piers knows that friendship with Meghan is over, so he's doing his worst. It's just Piers being Piers. First Mrs. R says, Princess Alice was an incredible woman. I know how busy you are, but I would love to see a video on her. Not enough people know about her life and the effect it probably had on her son, Prince Philip. I've been saying this ever since I've started doing these live chats, and I've just never had the time to do it. I really want to do a series of royal family profiles. I want to take, you know, certain people and, you know, family strands and do person by person who they are, what they've done in their life, where they're up to at this point in their life, or if they're deceased, what they did in their entire life. Literally go through and unpick and comment on their entire life. I really would love to do that. And she is one of those people that I would love to do a profile on. Maybe, you know, in the upcoming future, I may have a little bit more time to do that and make that series come true. And I'm not sure who I'd start with, actually. I may start as far back as Victoria and some of the characters in her life that she knew. But I am definitely going to do it one of these days, and it may be sooner than you think. Danica, yes, she wants Canada to remain in the Commonwealth, and you love the brooch. Thank you so much. And yes, Sandra Leonard, I do think Meghan is happy. She certainly seems very happy and very busy, which definitely helps. It's a True Mike says, hi. Hot damn, I'm at work and not home getting the royal news. Oh no, I hope your work isn't going to last too much longer, and then you can get to hear all the royal tea. Linda P. Gonan is wishing everyone a happy Canada Day. MSB 2012 says, can I clarify something? I will try. Is Canada part of the Commonwealth? Yes, it is. And is Queen Elizabeth II Queen of Canada? Yes, she is. A Canadian friend of mine said she is not. She is. There you go. She is. She is Queen of Canada. Vinny Blair says, thank you. Have a good weekend yourself. Kathy says, one of the lessons of the Duchess of York's life was the merciless criticism of the tabloids calling her the Duchess of Pork. She could do nothing right. Hopefully that will not happen to Meghan. Well, no mention of pork there. But yes, I see your point. She was, unduly picked on, I think. And it's, a name, and sometimes these names stick. Oh, by the way, I have some openings to do. I always forget the openings. I have some openings to do. I've pre-opened a little bit, but I haven't looked in. I've been very good. I have 2 things to open. Don't let me forget them, because I will forget to open them. Maggie says, "I hope you hope I'm having a good weekend. I am, and I hope you are too." Okay, I'm going to skip a few questions to try and move down a little bit. Maggie says, "I think the christening is on the 9th of July." That's what I said, the 9th. It was in my head the 9th, but I've left my diary in the other room. But I do think it is probably the 9th. And yes, Pam, I do have the packages to open. I will open them in a little bit. Hello to HJ London, who has finally made it. Shining Star says, if they take Mr. Markle under their wing, he would have won. I don't necessarily think that's winning. Controlling what he says, I definitely don't think could be seen as winning. But, if they don't, they run the risk of him just carrying on. And that's the fact. HA London says, I so agree with what you are saying about the Meghan frenzy. It all needs to calm down. People need to stop responding to speculation, gossip, and other unverified stories. I would agree. And of course, I always endeavour to post the truth on this channel. Gerald says, what tea am I drinking today? It is a Twinings blend, and it's an unusual one. It has bergamot, shall I say, in it. I'm not sure if you can see. I've still got the tea bag in there, actually. So it stews. I like it quite strong. And it's still very hot. This London cup that I've got really keeps my tea piping hot all the way through my live chat. It's actually a very good cup. Soliarda222 says, do they do physical challenges in the UK's Big Brother? Yes, they do. If so, Meghan's sister was in a wheelchair. We've had disabled people. We've had a blind person in the UK Big Brother house before, and they join in and take part in whatever they can. And, sometimes challenges are adapted so that they can obviously join in. I mean, we don't want disabled people not to be able to join in with things. And in the UK, we're actually, I would say, quite fairly good at, incorporating disabled people into everyday things, because that's what we should be doing. Just because someone has a disability doesn't mean they shouldn't be catered for and they can't be included. They most certainly should. But, whether we want that particular disabled person to be in the Big Brother house is questionable. Ain't That says, hi, thanks for tolerating my screen name. I will just call you Ain't That. Ain't That works for me. Deborah Fraser says, that is ridiculous for Samantha on reality TV in Britain. Based on her health, it's my opinion, it's not feasible. She most certainly could be. And I'm not saying she is, but there is talk that she is being asked to appear in it. I can neither confirm nor deny it. It is just a rumour. I don't know. But stranger things have happened. So I'm saying it could potentially be true. We just don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Pam G says, nice to see you. Love talk of the town. It's Crown. But yes, thank you so much for watching. In fact, I quite like Talk of the Town, actually. That's a rather good name. I may even change. James Medford says, the Duke of Edinburgh joined the Queen at Polo this week. Glad to see he enjoyed himself. He did. I think it was Sunday. Again, another one I haven't had time for. But yes, he did, and he looked very healthy. And that was after the Royal Ascot week, where people were saying, where is he? Is he poorly? And I said, no, it's just one of those events that he's retired from. And he obviously must have seen that as an engagement that he had to attend. And now that he doesn't have to, he's enjoying his retirement, and good luck to him. H.J. London says, I want to ask you about the Lady Colin Campbell book she has written about Her Majesty. I was so disgusted to learn of this. What is this woman? Such a degrading thing to do. Well, she married a British aristocrat. She divorced, I think, 18 months later. She kept the title, Lady Colin Campbell. And she's written many books about the royal family that have been controversial, and she's written another controversial one. And I read a little bit about it, and the sources, the people that she's quoted, I think she's quoted something like 38 people, and about 28 of them are now dead. So of course they can't be contacted to say, you know, to confirm whether or not what she said they said was true. So who knows? I mean, she does like to sensationalize, but, you know, I think if you want an interesting read, read it and see what you think. I haven't read it. I don't know all the details. She has made some certain claims, but we don't know if they're true. Nothing has been confirmed, and, you know, some of it just doesn't make any sense. But, you know, if you want a challenging read, and when I say challenging, I don't mean it's hard to read. I mean challenging as in, you know, you need to be critical when you're reading it to make sure that you kind of pick out all the little fake bits, if there are any. Then go ahead and read the book. It may be very interesting to read. I haven't read it, so I can't really comment too much on it, but perhaps that's one in the future that I would like to read, and then I could do a better assessment on. All I've heard is just hearsay from what people have said is in the book, and then what's in the book might not even be true itself. So I'm not going to say too much about that until I know more about it. Pam G says, Happy Canada Day to all Canadians from crazy California. You wish you were in the UK. The Queen is the bomb. Book Princess says, Hi Elliot, my first live chat today. I love your channel and your royal talk. You're looking amazing today. Love from Hanover in Germany. Well, hello to everyone, all my German friends. Soliada says, is Prince Edward and family moving? As far as I'm aware, no. Where have you heard they're moving to? Jojo says, anyone who is a friend of Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, is a friend of mine. I love you, Elliot. Thank you so much. Rosary Chaplet says, Catherine is on maternity leave. She is indeed, and working on the next generation of royals. She is. That's job enough, I think. Shining Star says, Elliot, are Kate and Meghan allowed to accept clothes from designers? I thought they had to pay. Anything that's a gift has to be disclosed as such. But I do believe they can accept gifts, but it has to be disclosed as a gift in the royal gift log, shall we say. But yes, I mean, they certainly do, you know, spend money on their own clothes. I think Diana used to buy the majority of her things. But what being royal does really give you is access to these designers. And also what we don't know is actually how much the designers are charging. So when it says, you know, Meghan's in a £4,000 dress, for example, we don't know that she was actually charged £4,000. She may have been charged a fraction of the cost, which is probably more the case. I would imagine the stuff is kind of heavily discounted, and yeah, probably very heavily discounted, shall we say. Book Princess says, thank you, Christine, for welcoming. It's so nice to meet so many royal watchers. Well, welcome to the live chat. Every single week, we are a great bunch all together. David says, how come the Queen doesn't give out tiaras permanently to her immediate family, as in Catherine, Duchess of Sussex, and Sophie, etc., etc.? Well, sometimes she might buy them a tiara. I think Sophie's main tiara was a wedding present. The Duchess of York's tiara was a gift. It was a made-up one. The ones that she loans out are on long-term loan, and it's kind of good enough. A long-term loan is pretty much you've been given it until such times as when you don't need it. So all the tiaras that, for example, Camilla has were mostly, in fact, I think the majority of them were the Queen Mother's tiaras, which of course the Queen doesn't need to wear herself. She has her own, usual collection of tiaras. So long-term loan is as good as being given, really. Because of course to give as a gift would be to kind of take the tiara out of the royal family, because let's, for example, say if, for example, the Queen had given a tiara to the Duchess of York when they divorced, that tiara would have technically gone out of royal control. So it's a very wise move to keep the collection together for future royal generations and royal queens and queen consorts and princesses. To keep it all together is to long-term loan. It's a very good way, a very clever way of doing it. I'm going to skip a few comments because I think I'm quite far behind, but if it was really important, please do retype. Sumila says, if you do a profile series, please could you include Prince Philip's sister, Princess Cecile of Greece, such a sad story. If I do a particular branch of the family, I will probably work through the majority of it. First Mrs. R says, the Tudors would have known how to handle the Markles. Oh, they would indeed. To the block. Jojo says, I can assure you the Duchess of Sussex will never be called the Duchess of Pork. Never. Mrs. VSN thinks Thomas Markle can't be controlled. David Penner says, last week I watched Prime Minister's Questions and noticed the Irish constituency walked out of Parliament. What was this all about? Is there tension between the UK and Ireland? I think it was it a vote? I'm trying to think back now. So much happens in the UK Parliament with Brexit and everything. I think they were voting on something, and didn't they want to abstain? No, hang on. Somebody objected, and he was thrown out, and then they all walked out to support him. I can't remember exactly why he was thrown out, but he objected to something. He made a comment or something or other, and then he was thrown out, and the rest followed in support. There you go. That's what it was. Okay, I'm just scrolling down a few things. MSME 2012 says, Lady Colin Campbell was horrible to Diana when she was alive. She wasn't a big fan of Diana. That is true. Candice says, how are Molly and Rory, my cats, coping with the hot weather? Your cats just flake out when it's hot. Rory's bigger than Molly, so he's actually taken to sitting in my plant pot, the outside plant tub. I don't know why, maybe it's cool. He also sits on my stone bench because obviously it's cool. But Molly's taking it in her stride, and she sits under the bush most of the day. Gerald says, how is my garden doing? I will take a photo and put it on Patreon. I will do that tonight. In fact, I've got photos. I will put one on Patreon. And I might make a video. Oh, I will show you my Princess Diana rose. Not rose, my Princess Diana clematis. I planted it a couple of years ago. I did make some other videos. You can go and look back. And I will show you how it's doing now. I will make a video on that. Maybe I'll make that tomorrow. Book Princess wants to know what I thought about Prince William's trip. I did comment on all of that earlier, but I think it seemed like a very big success. It seemed like he did everything diplomatically correct. As far as I'm aware, nobody was offended. No one's nose was put out of joint. Everything seemed to go down very well. And I think it's been hailed a success. James Medford says, the news you were talking about is the news of Princess Anne, the Wessexes and Prince Andrew moving into St James's Palace during the next phase of the work on Buckingham Palace. There's going to be work plumbing and removing hazardous wiring. I do remember what you said now. Yes, so the work is moving for this coming year, I think from now in the summer and for about a year. The work is moving to the bit of the palace that you can see from the front where the balcony is. So yes, all that work's been carried out, the rewiring, plumbing, a complete renovation, basically. And that is the section of the palace where Princess Anne and lots of other of the royal children have private apartments. Now, Princess Anne already has 2 apartments in London. She has Buckingham Palace and St James's Palace, which is only a stone's throw from Buckingham Palace. So Princess Anne will just, not use Buckingham Palace. She'll use St James's Palace, and I do believe the Wessexes will have a base in St James's Palace too, but it's only temporary until everything's all back to normal, and then everything will be as it was. But Princess Anne is lucky because she too has an apartment in St James's Palace as well. Who needs 2 palaces within so many yards of each other? Susan Satt says 161 watching. Well, 155 now that I'm reading this. Please hit the thumbs up. Yes, please give me a big old thumbs up. Mrs. VSN CO9 says, I agree that designer clothes that we see any of the royals wear is heavily discounted and not full price. The designers make tons from them wearing their clothes. I mean, what better way to sell clothes? I mean, anything Catherine wears, anything Meghan's wears, it just flies off the shelf. I mean, you see sold out immediately. As soon as people identify what the clothes are, they just get sold out. So it's a very wise move to, sell your clobber to Catherine and Meghan on the cheap. I would be doing it if I was a designer. And yes, Shining Star, Meghan was pre-marriage allowed to accept whatever clothes she was given. So she may have already accepted a load of clothes before marriage. Who knows? That's one thing we won't know about. Gerald says, can Parliament be disbanded as one king did once? I think you're referring to Charles I. Yes, it can be disbanded. The Queen can cancel Parliament. She can send them all home. But she's very unlikely to do that. That power still exists, but she's never done that, and she probably never ever will. I mean, there would have to be some kind of major constitutional crisis for that to happen, for her to kind of take back control, if you like, of the kingdom, which she could technically do. I mean, they've always say throughout history, whoever controls the army controls the country, and the Queen is the head of the armed forces. Technically, she could take the country and rule it as she wanted, if she really wanted to. Of course, that's not going to happen. That would just be a complete disaster. But, if ever there was, an absolute crisis, let's say, for example, I don't know, we were invaded by a foreign power. Let's say Russia invaded us and was going to take us over, had, captured the prime minister, captured all of the government. They were all under arrest. The Queen could technically disband Parliament, take control herself. Hopefully, this is where we would be good to have a new royal yacht, because the Queen could be put on the royal yacht, sent away, and she could technically, still rule the country from overseas, which is another good reason to have a Queen. That's very unlikely to happen, but it's something that the opportunity is there. Should it arise, the Queen could technically take control of the country, but like I say, it would have to be something huge for that to be warranted. Okay, I think I'm nearly at the bottom of the questions, actually. CB says, I was watching Supervet programme last night. It reminded me I saw Noel Fitzpatrick amongst the wedding guests. What happened to Meghan's injured dog? Did he survive? I know she left one dog in America, or Canada, was it? Because it was too ill to travel. And I think I heard that one dog passed away. I'm not sure if it was that dog, but I do think one of them passed. James Med 4 says, how is my nan doing in her new cottage? Well, bungalow, actually. Well remembered. Yes, she's been in there a fair few months now, and she's loving it. It's a lot better for her. So thank you for asking. Pam G says, this chat is so fun. I get my British fix every week. There you go. That's what I'm here for. MSB 2012 says, because of your queen, I don't think Russia could do in the UK what they did in the US. Sheila says, love you. Being sanity in a world where lies and distortions abound. Yes, there is so much fake news out there. You have to be incredibly, incredibly careful. The first Mrs. R says, I don't think any monarch wants to invoke the divine right of the monarch to govern. The last monarch that did that lost his head, which is another good point of why it wouldn't happen unless, like I say, there was something absolutely catastrophic. I mean, let's go back to World War II, of course, with Hitler. We had a royal yacht, Britannia, at the time, and one of its functions was that it was to be hidden away somewhere in the Scottish, in a kind of like a Scottish cove, and should Hitler have invaded and taken control, the monarch was to be spirited off to the Royal Yacht Britannia, and technically England wouldn't have been taken, because to really take England, you have to take the monarch. And, you know, if the head of state was still there, still technically in control of the armed forces, we wouldn't be down. And that is one really good function about having a separate head of state to the government. You know, it works that way, because you've got two separate entities, and unless you take the crown, you don't take the country. Even if you technically got control of the capital, you still haven't taken the country if the Queen is still out there or the monarch is still out there. So another good reason why, bring back Royal Yacht Britannia. We need a Royal Yacht Britannia. I think in a post-Brexit world, a royal trade ship, we could call it a trade ship. We could send it off all over the world to do business, but also that royal connection would be very useful. So I do advocate a new Royal Yacht Britannia. Give the Queen back her royal yacht. Let's start a campaign. Revolution. Kathy Brown says, I'm a new royal watcher. I'm really enjoying this chat. Thank you, and thank you for joining. Thank you for finding us. Oh, Pam says, don't forget the packages. You're right. I always put them down and forget them. I'm going to take a drink first, and then I'll do the packages. I've been very good. I only just snip them, and then I leave them. I'm very good. Actually, I'm really, really good with these packages. Now, I think they are from my wish list, my Amazon wish list. The link is in the description of this chat video, so do go and check that out. If there's anything you want to see me open on that list, it's there, so do take a look. Now, I'm going to start with this little package here. Now, I can see something already. Okay, I have seen this when I just looked, but I haven't seen it in full. So, without further ado, I'm going to open it. And I know what this is instantly because I added it to my wish list. It's the Commonwealth flag. Now, before I open it, I'm going to look to see if there's anything. Oh no, I don't know who it's from. Oh no. Okay, whoever it was that got me the Commonwealth flag, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And I'm gonna open it now. Okay, so it comes in like a cellophane package, and it's a backdrop flag. And the reason why I added this on my list was that whenever I'm doing anything about the Commonwealth, whenever it's the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, I can have this flag in the background as my backdrop. Yay, I have the flag. Okay, it's the Commonwealth flag, the Commonwealth flag of nations. Woohoo, look. Okay, now seeing as I only have my shorts on, shall I shroud myself in the flag? Okay, so you can see it. I don't want to show my legs. Okay, look, here's the flag. Da, da, da. Wow, so that will be my new backdrop, my Commonwealth flag backdrop, and I'm kicking. Okay, maybe a little hint of ankle. Oh, little hint of ankle. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh. A hint of ankle. How Victorian. And thank you. So whoever it was, please let me know. Either leave a comment or send me a message or something. Thank you so much for the Commonwealth flag. I love it, and I want to fold it up nicely. because I keep this in my cupboard, and then whenever the opportunity comes up, I mean, it may not be for a while. I may not use this for a while, actually. I'm not sure if we have anything Commonwealthy coming up soon. I don't think we do. So it may be a while before I use it, but rest assured, whenever the opportunity arises, I will be using the flag. Now, I'm going to see what you're saying about the flag before I move on to the next package. Let's have a look. Let's see. Pam Farrell says it's really exciting to see what I got. Rosary Chaplet got it right. It is the Commonwealth flag. Book Princess thinks that the Queen would be good to see Royal Britannia back. Mrs. BS CO9 says, I saw those legs. Love your personality. Don't look at the legs. Vinny Blair says, scandalous. You need to fake news yourself. My legs aren't fake. I can't fake news my own legs. RN, a proud progressive, says, Elliot, you are so entertaining. Thank you. Laurie Clark says, oh my, I just found you. Well, thank you for finding me. Beth Black says, ankle. I am reporting. Don't report my ankle. Oh, Howard Warden, little flash of Georgian, little flash of ankle. Okay, the next one. Now, I hope it's got a card in so that I can. I did think it felt badgy, but we'll have a look. Okay, there's a bit of paper. Let me see if I can read it. Okay. Oh, well, it's just told me what it is, but I don't know who it's from. Okay, again, I don't know who this is from, but I now know what it is because I read the thing. So, it's something else I'd put on my wish list. It's my Royal Navy badge. Look. What can you see? It's a Royal Navy pin badge from giftshop.co.uk. Wow. So again, this is something I wanted because whenever, for example, the Queen or any of the royal family is doing something with the Royal Navy, for example, when Prince Edward was doing his da-da, I could have worn this. Wow. It's actually very good quality. Look, it's very shiny. I love it. Oh, in fact, I'm going to put this up here. So whoever it was that got me that, and I don't know if it's the same person. Again, please let me know. I'm going to give it Bear. Bear can look after it. There we go. Okay, Bear can look after the pin. I've got my Commonwealth flag. I'm all set to go whenever there's another Commonwealth event. So thank you so much to whoever gifted me the pin and the Commonwealth flag. Please let me know so that I can reach out to you and thank you. I really do appreciate anything that's sent to me on the Amazon wish list. Everything that's on there is either fun, it's either something fun to open that I can show you, or it's something I can use, as a prop or a backdrop, or something that occasionally can come out that might be relevant to something that's going on in real life. So all the things on there are kind of carefully chosen. So do go and check it out if you feel like supporting the channel. And also if you want to just see me open something, it's entertaining, I suppose. Okay, let me go back up. Okay. Deborah Fraser says, my country is part of the Commonwealth, Trinidad and Tobago. Well, there you go, the Commonwealth flag. Rhonda Malone says, that is the first time I have ever seen the Commonwealth flag. It is very lovely. You may be able to use it in July when the Duke and Duchess make their first trip. Oh, I could, couldn't I? Yes. Very good point. So you may see it sooner than you thought. Olivia says, hope you're watching the game as well. World Cup, Team England all the way for me. Of course I support my country, but I'm not an avid football follower. And don't ask me what the offside rule is because I have no idea. And anyway, everyone knows that rugby has better legs. Sheila says, the best thing about having the Queen right now in English history is that you won't have the Trump experience. Russia won't succeed in setting up an imposter head. Britain and the Commonwealth are very fortunate. Laurie says, adorable bow tie. Thank you so much. In fact, this was a gift. This was a gift of M, who is usually in the chat room. And I do love it. It's really good quality. So yes, if people gift me things from the Amazon wish list, I do use them. They're on there for a reason. They're on there because I will use them at some point. And this is one of my staple bow ties. It's become a favourite. I do really love it. Gerald says, having trouble sending item from your list. How to do it? I'm in the USA. Don't ask me. I have no idea. I always thought it's quite easy. People in the USA have been able to do it before. I know Marilyn certainly has, I think. It should just be very simple. You should just be able to click on all, and it should just take you through. So I have no idea why you're having a problem. Let me know what it's telling you. It might give me a bit more of a clue. Laurie Clark says, you're opening up a whole new world of collecting for me. Pin badges. I love a good pin badge and a brooch, especially if it's a replica royal brooch. This, if you don't know, is a replica Canadian maple leaf brooch that the Queen wears. And you may have also seen it on Catherine, the Duchess of Cambridge, because the Queen loaned it to her when she went to Canada on her 2 trips now, I think. Susan Zach says, almost 100 thumbs up. Yes. There's 129 of you watching, so if you haven't already, please do give me a big old thumbs up. Jojo says, wow, those legs need to be insured for at least £1 million. They're definitely model legs. Sharon says, if you click on the link above, it will take you to my list. It will indeed. Yeah, it should just be follow the instructions. I really don't know what to tell you other than that. It should just work and be really, really simple. RN says, I'm just joining. How is the Queen? She reportedly has been a bit under the weather. Queen at her age keeps a very busy schedule. Harry and Meghan's wedding in May, activities in June. Yes. As far as we know, she's okay. No news is good news. A summer cold, no cancelled engagements for next week. So I think she's just had a bit of rest and relaxation. And yes, if you haven't given me a thumbs up, please do. It really does help. And yes, if you're having trouble with the wish list, call Amazon customer service. They will know a lot more than what I do. All I know is how I set it up. Other than that, it's all gone through. It all goes through Amazon. And Rodney says, happy heavenly birthday to Princess Diana. Yes, of course, it would have been her birthday to... No, I thought her birthday... Hang on, when was her birthday? Is it tomorrow? It's tomorrow, isn't it? I do believe. Sharon says, I saw you have a Lego set on your wish list. Do I do Lego? I do like Lego, but the one that I chose, I do believe, is a royal Lego, which is even better, royal Lego. So I was thinking, my thought behind that was, if I made it, I could often use it as a backdrop piece. Or if I ever have a new set, it could go on a shelf behind me. There you go. Maybe I let slip something to come. MSMB 2012 says, I have sent me things from the US. It's a little tricky, but you have to click the link from me. Searching for it on US Amazon didn't work. Oh, there you go. Follow the link that I put if you feel like supporting the channel. Of course, you don't have to. It's only if you want to. But rest assured, anything you send will either get its own opening video if I have time to make one, or I'll save it and open it with you guys in the live chat. And please do include a card. I think you can print like a little card to say who it's from, because otherwise I don't know who they're from and I don't know who I'm thanking. Susan Sachs says, I'm your biggest cheerleader for thumbs up. You are. You need some pom-poms in British colours. Janet Carpenter says, I sure love how positive you are. Respect to you from Oregon. And yes, Diana's birthday is indeed tomorrow. Diana says, have I heard any of the reptilian conspiracy theories? So much fake news, and I wish the royal family could prosecute those who put out that information. Yes, I have heard the reptilian, and I am going to give them a big reptilian fake news fan flap. I mean, my goodness, who would think in their right mind that a member of the royal family, or indeed the Queen, is a reptilian? I mean, how ridiculous. And I'm not even going to go into the details. It's just absolutely ridiculous and totally fake news. In fact, it's more comical than anything. I mean, who would believe that the Queen is a reptile? I mean, come on. It's just ridiculous. And I'm not a very big conspiracy theory lover, as it is anyway. Oh, we haven't talked about Zara and Mike naming their baby, Lena Elizabeth Tyndall. Now, it's spelt Lena, Lena, but it's pronounced Lena, as in Layna. So it's spelt Lena, but it's pronounced Lena. Lena Elizabeth Tyndall. Lena simply because they liked the name. It has no royal connection whatsoever. And Elizabeth, obviously in honour of Queen Elizabeth. And of course, she has no royal titles. But I just thought it was a very interesting name choice. And I quite like the fact that they've just gone with a name that they liked. Why not? Oh, and Prince Harry was in Lesotho this week as well on a private trip. It looked like he had a really good time. I think he was opening a centre, and he really loves his time out there in Africa with his Centre Barley charity. So let me know your thoughts on that visit. He just seemed very happy. Meghan wasn't with him, but I'm sure she will be joining him on future trips because she also has a big affiliation with Africa, and she supported lots of African charities herself before she even met Harry. So, you know, people can't, or Meghan haters can't say that she's jumping on a bandwagon or, you know, she's trying to copy Harry, because she supported Africa as a continent before she even met Harry. So anything saying the contrary is fake news. Okay, let's see what some of you are saying. Mrs. VSN heard that the Queen was a shapeshifter. Oh no. And yes, James Medford is correct. In a couple of months, William will have lived longer than his mother. Still so hard to believe. Yes. And in fact, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, I was sat down and I was thinking, in 5 or 6 years' time, William will be older than when his mother died. Won't that be weird? Won't that feel weird for William? And I'm sure it will. Because, of course, when I was younger, you know, 20 years ago, 21 years ago nearly, Diana seemed, although, you know, looking back now, she's very young and beautiful, but she always seemed like an adult, you know, being 15, well, 14, I think I was at the time, when 14 or 15 when she died. She seemed like a proper fully grown adult. And now, you know, I'm only a couple of years younger than William, so we're kind of at the age where she died. And now I'm thinking, well, oh my goodness, to people of about 14, 15, I must seem like the adult, like the grown up, you know, old. Okay, I'll say it, old. I probably seem old. How the tables turn and how time can kind of change things. And I'm sure it will be quite a surreal moment for William when he kind of reaches that unofficial milestone, because, you know, living longer than what your parent lived, even if you don't really want to think about it, it is a big moment. It's a big moment in your life, and I'm sure it's one which he will be deep in contemplation for. So I think we need to send him all our very positive thoughts, because it will probably be a very tricky time to go through. Laurie Clark said, I loved seeing William pay tribute to his great-grandmother, Princess Alice. Very moving. With regards to Mia, the name Mia, I did look it up once because someone in a comment in one of the videos said that I pronounced it wrong. And I thought, right, I don't think so. It is Mia, as in a Mia Tyndall. So I went, and it was very hard to find a video where Zara said the name Mia. But when I found it, I did eventually find it. And she did pronounce it the same way that I pronounced it, which was Mia Tyndall. So that is the correct pronunciation of it. And I did check. That is how Zara says the name too, because I wanted to prove that I was right. Mrs. R says that she predicted that the baby's middle name would be Anne or Elizabeth. Well done to you. Diamond Janae says, cannot get the tea you have here. Okay, I'll just nip off screen a moment. I'll show you the tea. I'm sure you can still hear me. I am, of course, in my kitchen. So my kitchen cupboards are to hand. Okay, this is the tea I'm drinking at the moment. It's Twinings Earl Grey with, it's a classic blend, but it has a bergamot in it. And it's just really nice. And in fact, I only drink this one for my live chats because I first of all tasted it when I was on holiday, and it reminds me of the hotel that I was in. And I bought it because I wanted to be reminded of the happy times I had in this hotel. So I don't want to drink it all the time, because if you drink something too much, it becomes not special. So I save this special taste for my live chats. So I have it once a week, and I think it's really nice to have that. Shining Star says, apparently the Queen's senior PR is leaving after the Markle debacle, the great Markle debacle. Well, I haven't heard anything about that yet, so I'll have to check that one out. But, you know, sometimes there has been quite a heavy royal staff turnover as of late, so it could be nothing connected, but I'll have to check that one out. And if I hear anything, I will, of course, let you know. Molly Albert says, I am so glad to see the person behind the voice. This is awesome. My country is part of the Commonwealth, Guyana. Thanks for doing this. Keep up the good work. And thank you for joining us. And thank you for watching. And hello to everybody where you are in the world. Have I visited foreign countries myself? Yes, I've been to America, to New York. I've been to Spain. I've been to Greece. I've been to Germany. I've been to France. I've been to Thailand. I have been lots of other little Spanish countries, and the Canary Islands. I've been to lots of the Canary Islands. I've been to Turkey. Where else have I been? I've been quite a few places. In fact, it might surprise you to know that I've never been to Scotland, and I've never been to Northern Ireland or Ireland, but I have been as far as Thailand twice. So yes, I suppose I don't know, would you class that as well-traveled? I don't know. You know, some of those countries I've mentioned, I've been to multiple times, but I haven't been abroad to a foreign country for a long time. In fact, I'm just in the process of getting my passport. My passport expired a few years ago, and I want to start going abroad again very soon. In fact, I want to start doing cruises. Have I been a royal enthusiast all my life? Yes, I have. Although never intensely interested in the current British royal family. When I was younger, I was always more interested in, for example, Tudor history, like Tudor monarchy, Stuart monarchy, ancient Egyptians, ancient Greeks. It was always sort of very far back history. Then, as I got older, I mean, I've always been interested in the modern royal family. I mean, I've always followed the Queen and Diana and, you know, lots of the other royals. I was always interested in them. I never really studied them until probably 10, 15 years ago, maybe, at a push, where I really started getting into them and what they were doing in the day-to-day life. And, you know, starting this channel, I just wanted to kind of, you know, share with everyone, I suppose, my passion for the modern royal family. But I also do want to get back into, when I eventually have more time, I want to get into more, you know, royal history, the Tudors, the Stuarts, maybe even some Egyptian history, the pharaohs or ancient Greeks. But I would like to get back into, you know, some far back history and to review, you know, Henry VIII, Elizabeth I, Oliver Cromwell, all these different sorts of things, because they interest me. Diamond Janae says, you are so much younger, you will get to see George and Charlotte and Louis grow up and marry. Well, I'm 35 this year. I would love to live long enough to see George on the throne. Whether that will happen or not, I don't know. Being close in age to William, William would have to die before me, I'd have to outlive William before I could see George on the throne. But that's one of my ambitions, is to live long enough to see George on the throne, which means one of my ambitions is to live longer than Prince William. I'm only 2 years younger than him, so it could happen. It could. Off with my head for even thinking it is treason, as treasonous it is. Book Princess says, I think it must be very hard for William and Harry now that their mother doesn't know their world or their children. Yes, it must be very hard for them. In fact, William said that every time something big happens, a big event, a wedding or a birth, that he thinks about his mother even more. So it must be very touching whenever these big set piece events happen, and very sad to know that his mother is not part of it, which is why they have little nods to Diana whenever they can. First Mrs. R says, my father died at 34. The year between my 34th and 35th birthday was an emotionally difficult year, and a friend who is a therapist told me that it... Is there a second bit to your question? That my father died at 30... Okay, hang on. Told me that it's normal for that to happen when one's parent dies young. That's kind of what I was saying about William. And I'm really sorry that you lost your father so young. I can't even begin to imagine what that would be like. But it happens to people. It happened to William. It happened to you. It happens to other people. And that's probably just a normal reaction to go through when you hit that age. And it's one that, I totally think that William is going to experience when he does reach that bit. If he isn't feeling it already, he may be even feeling it already. Okay. Let me go through a few questions. Deborah says, yes, I am well travelled. Am I? Doesn't everybody go those places? Laurie Clark says, I'm taking a Western Caribbean cruise next March. I need to renew my passport as well. It's the photo. Okay, I filled out the form, but I've got to get the photo done. And you have to sit, and you can't smile. You have to, okay, can I practice my passport face with you guys? So you can't smile, you have to sit there. And I always say that when you're having your portrait taken, kind of sit initially at the slant and then turn, because it gives you a better posture. Put your hands in your lap, shoulders back, and then head up, and then poker face, think Victorian. Okay, chin out. Give me a bit more of a chin. Okay. Is that a good passport face? I don't know. Let me know. Was that a good passport face? Shall I do that face when I have my passport taken? Book Princess loves my fake fan. My fake news fan flap. Thank you. Soliarda222 says, did I see a very English scandal? What do I think of it? It was written by Russell T Davies. I know that. I haven't seen it because myself and my partner want to watch it in a little bit. When it's out on DVD, we'll probably buy it and watch it. I haven't seen it, but I heard it was very, very good. And I do really want to watch that. Megan B would love it if I did some historical videos. Hello to a lone angel who is from Turkey. I've been to Turkey. Diamond Danae loves my bucket list. Even at 35, I think I should have a bucket list. Okay, what's on your bucket list? Let me know in the comment section. Okay, sorry if I'm skipping a few questions. I'm kind of skim reading. Diamond Danae says, do I have a 5 or a 10-year passport? I will get a 10-year passport so that I don't have to have that photo taken again. And for the next 10 years, I can look 35. There you go, a tip. Choose the longest passport if you can, because then you will look younger for longer. Em thinks I got a nice passport face. Olivia's laughing at my passport face. And Rhonda thinks my passport face is very distinguished looking. Shall I wear the bow tie in the passport? Am I allowed to wear a bow tie in a passport? I don't know. Okay, I am going to end tonight's chat here. Thank you so much to everybody for providing some really good questions, as always. Now, I will be back next week, live at 10 o'clock GMT. If ever I do have to cancel, I will post a post in the community section of YouTube and on Facebook and on Twitter too. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. So from me for this week, in Shropshire, goodbye. Passport face.